Hi there, my name's Marcus Lambert and this is my model railway, Bradwell Point. My layout is based on a nuclear flask loading and unloading point. The layout isn't strict to any particular prototype and draws inspiration from various nuclear flask terminals around the country. The layout is built in 00 gauge on code 75 track. The baseboard size is 9 foot by 1.5 foot, 6 foot of it which is a scenic area. The era that I tend to run is the mid 1990s through to the late 1990s and the early privatisation period. The layout is run fully through DCC using a Z21 controller. All of the points etc. are controlled via DCC. My favourite aspect in the creation of my layout has to have been doing the scenery. I've really enjoyed working on the scenery on this project and I've used lots of new techniques that I haven't tried before. I've used new techniques for creating hard standing concrete effects and new techniques for creating various pieces of vegetation and bushes. Constant experimenting with different types of modelling materials has really led to a satisfying end product and I've really enjoyed the whole process throughout building the layout. My inspiration behind my layout, Bradwell Point, stems back to when I was a child. Growing up in Essex, we didn't used to see many decent freight trains running through the town where I lived. However, we did have nuclear flask trains. These sparked off a bit of a fascination and I've always wanted to model those trains. As part of modelling those trains, I researched nuclear flask depots and found that they made quite interesting prototypes to model. Nuclear flask trains are normally quite short trains, so they're actually something that you can model a full-length train to in a minimum space, which was ideal for an exhibition layout for me. The piece of the layout that seems to cause the most attention at exhibitions, strangely enough, is the back scene. The back scene is a photograph that I took myself of a local steelworks in Port Talbot. It's something that you can't buy commercially off of the shelf, and a lot of people ask me where I got it because they'd like it for their layout, and it really does act as a talking point. The other thing that people tend to like about the layout is the coupling system that I've actually employed. I've employed a magnetic coupling system called the Kirby coupling method, where the trains will automatically uncouple when running over a magnet, and that seems to cause a lot of attention at exhibitions and creates a lot of interest and sparks a lot of conversation. With all my modelling, I really enjoy weathering. I think probably some of the most successful parts that have reflected in the layout through the weathering here have definitely been the ballast area. I'm quite pleased with the way that that's turned out, and also the hard standing. The simple addition of a few layers of grime have helped that really come to life. Locomotive wise, I've weathered absolutely everything, so there's not one particular thing I can particularly put a finger on as being my favourite, but I get great pleasure from doing the weathering, and I do think it turns a model into a model rather than it being an off the shelf toy looking item.
What's happening with your new line you're doing? Is it coming along or something? Underneath or?
The layout was booked for various exhibitions, so this year we'll be appearing at DMU in June, we're appearing at Rail XNE in July, and we're also this year going to round off our exhibitions at the Great British Model Railway Show at Gaydon in November. Going forward over the coming years, I've got exhibitions for Stafford, Worley and many more in the pipeline, so keep an eye out. I've got a Facebook page for the layout and I will always publish where we're attending shows. I look forward to meeting as many of you as possible.
Need to be in prison or something to do it. Time your hands.